Well, hey, how many of you remember back in March? We shut everything down in the entire world to flatten the curve. That was so that we would be able to open everything back up by Easter. Now, I get it that we're told to listen to the scientists. But honestly, it gets a little hard to do when the scientists themselves don't agree and when they sometimes tell us something that they totally reverse a short time later. Early on, we were implored to not wear a mask. Do not wear a mask. I remember Dr. Anthony Fauci, who was considered the expert on all things COVID, as well as the Surgeon General. They spoke at a news conference, urging that only medical professionals wear a mask. Because we were told that it was very dangerous for us to wear a mask if we weren't medical professionals, because we'd be more likely to touch our faces, and if we wore a mask, we would die. So we were told to disinfect everything that we touched because the virus lingered for days on the surfaces of all the things that we touch. Somehow we were told that it would be safe to go to Walmart or the supermarket, but if we went to a small boutique where only a couple of people were in the store, we would surely die. Churches got closed, but casinos didn't. You weren't permitted to get a mammogram or have a tooth pulled, but you were allowed to have an abortion because in someone's twisted mind, an abortion was essential, but church or having a cancer screening was not. Now, we were told to stay away from large groups, but if we rioted or looted a store or tossed bricks at a police officer, we'd be safe. It was about at that time that much of the general public realized that COVID was serious, not minimizing that at all. But some of the political figures ordering us about as if we were 3-year-olds in potty training weren't trying to control a deadly disease as much as they were trying to control us. Hey, we were ordered to wear the very mask that we had just weeks before been told would kill us. And we were told no need to spray those groceries or the boxes that are delivered with the disinfectant because it wouldn't be helpful after all. Now, I want to be as clear as I possibly can. COVID is real and it kills people. I've lost several friends who have died from this hideous disease, including a dear friend who is a pastor's wife in Arkansas and who once worked for me as an executive assistant in the governor's office. Aaron Wilburn, a wonderful Christian gentleman who is a great songwriter, performer, and comedian, and who was a regular right here in our theater to entertain our studio audience, died just a week ago from COVID, broke all of our hearts. One of my own sons came down with it. And while having some symptoms of fever, sore throat, and cough, was able to get treated early and effectively and avoided the hospital stay or some of the severe consequences. And he was very careful to always wear a mask, sanitize, and socially distance. He had to isolate himself away from his 3 children and pregnant wife to avoid exposing them. When it comes to the seriousness of COVID, I don't believe many of the politicians who order the rest of us to avoid travel or socialization, but then who go out and eat and they get haircuts and travel for vacation and even show up for big events. I don't need their hypocritical demands. I'll wear a mask. I'll avoid personal contact. I wash my hands and I keep distances, especially from people like Trey and Keith, because, look, I believe what's happened to my friends, even if I don't believe what hypocritical officials say, since they themselves don't believe anything they say. The cases and deaths this week are higher than they've ever been. So don't be foolish or careless. But next time you get to vote, don't vote for mayors and governors who tell you to do what they are unwilling to do. They think we're peasants, and they think they're princes and princesses. They aren't. But even the peasants have the power to rise up and demand that leaders live by the same rules that they impose on the rest of us. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, then subscribe, and hit the notification bell below. Now, if you didn't like it, you ought to find a Ben Shapiro video to detox you with more facts.